and the Israelites set out from the desert of Sinai. The Israelites had begun their journey from Mount Sinai to the Promised Land, but soon they started to complain about their hardships. Their grumbling displeased the Lord, and his anger was kindled. Fire from the Lord burned among them and consumed the outskirts of the camp. The people cried out to Moses, who prayed to the Lord, and the fire died down. This place was called Taberah, meaning burning, because the fire of the Lord had burned among them. Despite this warning, the people continued to grumble. They longed for the variety of foods they had in Egypt: fish, cucumbers, melons, leeks, onions, and garlic. They grew tired of the manna, the miraculous food that the Lord provided each day. The manna was like coriander seed and looked like resin. The people would gather it, grind it, cook it, and make it into cakes that tasted like something made with olive oil. But now, their craving for meat grew intense, and they wept aloud, each family at the entrance of their tents. Moses was deeply troubled by the people's complaints and went to the Lord, overwhelmed by the burden of leading them. He prayed, "I am your servant, Lord, so why are you doing this to me? What have I done to deserve this? You've made me responsible for all these people, but they're not my children. You told me to nurse them along and to carry them to the land you promised their ancestors. They keep whining for meat, but where can I get meat for them? This job is too much for me. How can I take care of all these people by myself? If this is the way you're going to treat me, just kill me now and end my miserable life." The Lord responded by instructing Moses to gather 70 elders of Israel, known to be leaders and officials, and bring them to the tent of meeting. There, the Lord would take some of the spirit that was on Moses and put it on them so they could share the burden of the people. The Lord also promised to provide meat for the people. He told Moses that they would eat meat not just for a day or two, but for a whole month until it came out of their nostrils and became loathsome to them, because they had rejected the Lord who was among them and had longed for Egypt. Moses questioned how this could be possible given their large numbers, but the Lord assured him that his power was not limited. Moses gathered the 70 elders, and the Lord came down in a cloud and spoke with him. He took some of the spirit that was on Moses and placed it on the 70 elders. When the spirit rested on them, they prophesied, but they did not do so again. 2 men, Eldad and Medad, who were listed among the elders but had remained in the camp, also had the spirit rest on them, and they prophesied there. A young man ran to tell Moses, and Joshua, Moses' assistant, urged Moses to stop them. But Moses replied, "Are you jealous for my sake? I wish that all the Lord's people were prophets, and that the Lord would put his spirit on them." Then the Lord sent a wind that drove in quail from the sea, which fell around the camp in great quantities. The people spent all day, night, and the next day gathering the quail, and they spread them out all around the camp. But while the meat was still between their teeth, before it could be consumed, the Lord's anger burned against the people, and he struck them with a severe plague. This place was named Kibroth Hattaavah, meaning graves of craving, because there they buried the people who had craved other food. From Kibroth Hattaavah, the Israelites traveled to Hazeroth and stayed there. Although Moses was the most humble person in all the world, Miriam and Aaron started complaining. "Moses had no right to marry that woman from Ethiopia. Who does he think he is? The Lord has spoken to us, not just to him." The Lord heard their complaint and told Moses, Aaron, and Miriam to come to the entrance of the sacred tent. There the Lord appeared in a cloud and told Aaron and Miriam to come closer. Then, after commanding them to listen carefully, he said, "I, the Lord, speak to prophets in visions and dreams, but my servant Moses is the leader of my people. He sees me face to face, and everything I say to him is perfectly clear. You have no right to criticize my servant Moses." The Lord became angry with Aaron and Miriam.